we are able to become, as it were, to go to a level at which our own life is seen in its total context in the universe. That is to say, to realize that yourself is not your ego, which is the standpoint at which you are involved in your game, taking sides, but yourself is the eternal, immeasurable reality that is what there is.
Well, that was delightful. That's the first hill I've seen since I've been here. This is the flattest place I've ever been in my life. They call it Lands. I'm in a place called Mimizan, which is a fairly sizable town, and there's some lakes here, and there's basically a water sports centre, and I'm the minibus driver for this water sports centre. I'm going to be here for another 5 or 6 weeks. The contract's to the end of August, and then I'll probably help with putting away all the tents, packing down the equipment, so I'm hoping I can be here till about 3 weeks into September maybe, and then I will get a train to Avalon, go and see Julie. One of the jobs I do in the minibus, the main job I do, once every few days I guess, is I drive to Bordeaux. It's 120 kilometres, something like that, up the auto route, but you have to get out of this really flat area that we're in. And all it is, as far as you can see in any direction, is just forestry pines, right? Straight plantation pines, just like the forest I live in back in Dorset. Only here it's on a much grander scale. I've looked at the map, this thing just goes on and on and on. Why is this significant? It feels like you're in a virtual reality computer game and it's booted up trees and it's booted up a few NPCs scattered here and there in the towns. And to be honest, I'm not being rude here. This isn't a judgment. This isn't a criticism. But most of the people I'm working with in this crew, they're all a lot younger than me. I'm the oldest member of the staff on the whole site. And they seem like NPCs. With the greatest respect to other human beings who perhaps aren't on the same path as me. There's a lot of NPC about it, and you know what I mean if you played any of these kind of huge role-playing games. Skyrim is a particular favourite of mine. It's the only one I've really played, and not everyone in those games, when you go online in Skyrim, it's just you, just the protagonist, because this is a completely offline game. Everyone you meet in that game, some of them are there to help you and point you in the right way along your chosen path, along your quest towards the ultimate objectives of the game. And those guys, you can tell them because they have better names, they have better dialogue, better voice actors, they have more dialogue options, they have a better, an avatar, and it's pretty obvious who they are. And then most of the background ones, they're just really fucking boring. You don't find, they might have 1 or 2 dialogue options, and that's it, forget it. And how strong a metaphor is that for real life? So there is something in the simulation itself which is telling us through these games that we can all play now, that this is a simulation. There's a guy looking at me because I'm vlogging, and apparently that's still strange enough, even in this day and age, in 2019, when pretty much everyone's got a YouTube channel or an Instagram account or just uploads videos to their Facebook. This conversation I'm having with you is non-NPC behaviour, okay? So yeah, all these trees here, these are forestry pines. You can see that one's got a marking on it. These aren't natural, they're not self-seeded. These were planted by humans probably quite a long time ago. That could be 50 or 60 years old, that big one. Fire breaks cut through it everywhere. This is the most natural area I've seen since I've been here. Everything else just looks so fake. Like I say, it's flat. It's like the simulation booted up the towns and the NPCs and the roads, but it forgot to boot up the terrain. And it's just obvious. It's obvious. You can't understand these things intellectually. I can't explain them with mere words, but the people who are already thinking along these lines, I can put your feelings into words for you. If you already get it, I can explain it to you, because I get it too. I feel it too. And we need to connect, we people who know that this is like This is what we're supposed to be doing. Because it's a simulation, we can't go any further with the simulation. It has to end, and we have to be the ones to do it, to bring it into existence somehow. I'm always looking at things like in terms of lessons. What is life? What is the Matrix trying to show me? What is it trying to teach me? I know where I'm going. It's Avalon. By the end of this year, I'll be living in Avalon with Julie, with my girlfriend. But I know I'm going to be doing it as far out of the system as I possibly can. And we don't know what that's going to look like yet. But right now, this is the first work I've done in 4 years where I'm fully engaged with the system. I'm doing PAYE work. I've signed contracts in my legal name, which I'm using fraudulently, because we all are. I'm doing it knowingly, but you know, that's the way the game is built, that's the way the game is played. I don't feel like I owe the system anything. Very similar to the forest I live in. Bigger, more repetitive. It's just uncomfortable. Life is uncomfortable. There's something uncomfortable simply about waking up in a body every single morning and being like, I'm still here. What are we doing here? And it does lead you. Quite often it can make you feel like I just don't belong here in this location in the three-dimensional illusion. But follow that feeling and you may, as I have, as many others have, people I'm making contact with now, come to the realization perhaps it's not just that we don't belong here where we live, but we don't belong here in this three-dimensional fake reality, the simulation. Intellectually, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're watching this thinking, go on then, where's your proof? You ain't gonna get it. That's not how it works. You feel it in the heart. You know it because it's true, because you've always known it. You don't have to learn stuff that's gonna show you the truth. You have to forget all the stuff that's kept you in the illusion for all this time.
Only the difficulty here is that this capacity of self-consciousness, although it is that which enables us to awaken, is also capable of getting us into perfectly frightful messes.